guys, I didn't see you there. Would you guys like to set sail on this ocean of flavor with me? I'll be your captain. I'm Steve Harrington.
And I'm Collin.
And I'm Doug, filling in for Whitney, and this is Scoops Ahoy, a Stranger Things podcast where we go week by week, chapter by chapter, taking a look at every episode of Stranger Things. We are still in the deep dark void, waiting for season 5, and this time we're continuing our rankings of every chapter of our favorite show, seasons 1 through 4.
Absolutely. This episode, we're going to be taking a long, hard look at the epitome of mediocrity, the so-so chapters, the meh, the beige, the bland, the vanilla, the middle of the pack.
So the creamy middles.
Right. the lovely Oreo center, right?
That's
episodes 11 through 20 in our rankings. But before we get going, we have to have a little refresher on the rules because we were probably confusing ourselves at some point. So I'll turn it over to Doug to explain where we are and how we get to where we're going.
All right, quick rundown on the rules. I am evens. Collin is odds. We each have a charm spell and a protect spell in our back pockets. This time, since we're down to simply 10 episodes, though, the charm spell strength has been decreased to a +3. The protection spell remains the same. Beyond that, though, we did have a little time to reflect on our previous list, and it was fun. We got a little feedback on this same notion as well. So we took it to the tribunal.
Tribal council. Yep.
Yes, it was a quick conversation. But we have decided that we are going to switch Dig Dug and the monster and the superhero. So Dig Dug is shooting up to 23 in our official ranking, and monster and the superhero down to 29. So yeah, I was sitting around and I shot this to Collin when I was bored one day. And, once when Collin picked Dig Dug last time, when you picked it last time, Collin, I should say, I was like, oh boy, I wasted my charm on stupid Vecna's curse. Because I really like Dig Dug. I feel like it's around 20-ish. That's what I felt. But
sure,
I think it's a fun episode. Some of the things that you were mentioning, I was like, I really like that part, but I didn't want to argue too much. But really, the impetus for it.
We were new to all of this too.
Right.
We're baby steps.
Yeah. Yes. And but when I started to look at our list and review things, I'm like, how did this monster and the superhero end up so high?
Yes.
Like it's not a spectacular episode. It's in your very, very oft lowly ranked 2-3 position in the season.
Yeah.
And I really think that it, at least for me, when I went back and I said, how did I rank this so close to 20? I remember when I was doing, when I did my list, I sort of did it in double reverse. I don't know how to say it. Like I did my top 10.
Double secret probation. Yeah.
Yeah, double secret. I was sort of getting close to 20. And as I fiddled out on being sure of myself, I went to 34 and went the opposite way.
Gotcha.
And I think that this one just snuck into this zone where it was like, where does this one go?
Right.
And I really think it needed to drop.
Yeah.
So I took the impetus to, get away with seeing if I could sneak Dig Dug up a little bit.
Right. I went along with it. We're good. So yeah, we well, here we go. So the bottom 14 to recap from the last episode, and you can see it on the screen here. So number 34 is The Lost Sister. Number 32 is season 3's The Mallrats. 32 is season 2's Mad Max. 31 is season 2's Pollywog. Number 30 is season 2's Trick or Treat Freak. And then number 29 is where we wound up with Monster and the Superhero from season 4. Nina Project, Saved by Your Charm Spell last time from season 4, is number 28. 27 is season 3, Case of the Missing Lifeguard. 26 is the first chapter of season 3, Susie, Do You Copy? 25, season 4, Vecna Curse. 24, season 2, Will the Wise. Number 23 here is Dig Dug from season 2. 22 is season 1's Flea and the Acrobat. And rounding out last week, number 21 is season 3, chapter 5, The Flayed. So that's where we are now.
Yay.
Yep. We have 20 left to go. So
I feel like season 2 is happier now too, you know.
right,
It was really getting
1,
pooped
2,
on.
3, 4.
Well, we got Dig Dug up a little higher, you know.
Yeah.
He had a run of
Yeah.
Ooh.
So we are going on to our middle 10 in the rankings. And in our preliminary lists, you and I matched on having 7 of the same 10 episodes in those 10. None of them in the exact same place as each other, but we did have some of the 7 of the same 10 episodes in there. I had in the middle 10, and we'll obviously talk about this more, and it'll obviously adjust as we move stuff around. I had 4 from season 1 and season 4, 2 from season 2, and none from season 3 in my middle 10. You were a little bit more spread out. You had 4 from 1, 3 from season 2, 2 from season 4, and 1 from season 3. I didn't have, oddly enough, I don't know if it means anything, no chapter 2s in my middle 10. 1 each of chapters 5, 7, and 9. And everybody pay attention. There will be a quiz on this tomorrow. And then 2 each from chapters 1, 4, and 6. You had nothing from chapters 2, 5, 7, or 9, those episodes. 1 each from 3 and 8, 2 each from 1 and 4. And then you had all 4 chapter 6 episodes from the 4 seasons in your middle 10. So as we stand now, anyway. So if we are ready, we can get this ball rolling. You have the even, so you will be going first. So
the hits from coast to coast, American Top 40, number 20.
I spent some time reflecting on where I was going to go with this and if I was going to change my list at all. And I'm not.
okay.
I'm just going with The Monster, season 1, episode 6. So in The Monster, Jonathan pulls Nancy back through the tree, spends the night. Joyce and Hopper visit Terry Ives, which is plenty boring. Nancy and Jonathan go supply shopping, which is cool. I like that part. Monster hunting. Steve and Jonathan get into the fight in the alley. Mike and Dustin confront Troy and James in the quarry, which is absolutely awesome.
Yes.
That is the only thing that made me hesitate putting this here. That's epic, obviously.
Yeah.
But the rest of the episode, I couldn't think of anything worse than it.
Yeah, it's just kind of there. I mean, it had some moments. I mean, the Nancy and the Jonathan going supply shopping, it was kind of cute, and but the fight in the alley and that whole thing was just kind of annoying. And then yes, I actually had this at 18. No, is that right? No, 17. I had this at 17. And then let me move this over a second. Yeah. So I had it at 17. You had it at 20. So I'm fine with that. I actually had it bumped up a couple notches because of that quarry scene. But yes, I'm perfectly fine with chapter 6 of season 1, The Monster, coming in at number 20. So
yeah, I mean, just because you have one of the best moments doesn't make the whole episode great, but
and we talked about that last time actually too, because and when we were trying to figure out if this, if one moment, could, or if it's just as a whole, or if it's, one that you'll just rewatch a lot of times, or, however. So according to however we do it, we have come to where we are. So yes, I'm good with them. I'm good with The Monster there.
Hey, I'll also throw this in there to defend my putting it at 20, right? I mean, the final scene is like the result of a double ex machina, right?
Yes.
Troy and his buddy just happen to be in the woods too. Oh, and 11 just happens to be there too.
Right. Yes. And they happen to live next to this big, huge quarry that hasn't played into the plot at all to this point, but now it's there. So yeah.
Number 19.
Okay, so that's good for number 20. So my number 19 was actually originally my 23, but because it didn't make it into the last show, it was now my number 20. And I have a feeling we're gonna throw down a little bit on this. And I have chapter 2 of season 1, The Weirdo on Maple Street, coming in at number 20 for me, but I will make it my number 19. And this is the episode where the boys try to figure out what to do with Elle, the second episode, obviously. Jonathan goes to visit Lonnie. Elle sees Will in the science fair pick in Mike's bedroom. And then obviously Nancy and Barb go to the pool party, and Barb gets swallowed by the Demogorgon. So that is The Weirdo on Maple Street. Overall, it was and is, yeah, I think generally considered to be, after the initial suck in of the first chapter, where a lot of stuff gets thrown at you because they just want to pull you in and get you go, oh my gosh, what is happening? This is kind of the come down episode where the Duffers take a step back, introduce some characters, flesh out some characters a little bit more, give us some more backstory and some more context and stuff. So yes, even though there are some iconic moments in there, like Barb's death, for example, overall it's a fairly flat episode. I mean, it's not terrible. Obviously, we've talked about, picking your, least favorite flavor of ice cream. I mean, it's a great episode,
Sure.
but compared to a lot of the other episodes, I just didn't feel like it had enough to, if I'm doing a rewatch, am I sitting there going, ooh, can't wait for chapter 2 to come up. So I have it down at number 20, but it'll be now number 19. What say you?
Oh, so yes, if we haven't figured it out yet, this was the infamous episode of discussion.
Yes.
So I had this sucker at number 6. I love this episode. Man, yeah, Collin, I just completely disagree with your assessment.
I knew you would.
I think that this episode, all right, so the first episode gets your attention, right? Like I feel like it's laying it all out there. Yes, hey, this show, it looks like all those wonderful movies from the 80s that you love, right? We got D&D. It's just like E.T., etc., etc.
Yeah.
This episode, to me, is what starts to set it apart as its standalone thing and really hooks you in, right?
Sure.
And I don't need to go through the whole damn episode, right? I'll just distill it into one single scene, and it is when. No, I'll go to two scenes there. It is when 11 flips the game board and puts Will right on the back of it, flipped upside down. That pulls you in, and you have to watch the entirety of the season after that part. Then, not to mention, you just go to this party of 3 people, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
And that part is just wonderful. Not to get into some sort of crass territory, but I really dug. We went back to the 80s, and kids in their teenage years are just straight up having sex at parties. And needle drops. I could go on and on. So anyways, in summation, my counter to your point is this is what really hooks you into the show. First episode gets your attention, tells you what it's all about-ish. This one tells you that this show is something cool as hell, and I want to know more. But anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I won't disagree with you. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
I like when we.
I did not hate the episode,
we disagree.
But yeah, I just think overall, and I watched it again. I watched a couple episodes again just to make sure that I had it. And yes, I agree. And it is kind of funny because as you're watching it, it's just such an iconic episode because every time you do a rewatch, chances are you're starting at the beginning, and even if you only make it a handful of episodes again, or through the first season or through the whole thing, you're guaranteed to watch the first couple of episodes, and this is one of them. So it's just burned into your brain. So I absolutely agree. There are some very iconic moments in there, not the least of which is obviously Barb's death and the flip. Obviously, sure. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I remember, and kind of Whitney was in my brain too. And this is a minor thing and it didn't affect my ranking, but I remember her talking at the time about how they were outside at a pool in Indiana in November.
Oh
And
yeah,
it really bugged her.
that is
What
pretty
kind of,
goofy.
yeah. And then the other thing that I think maybe, kind of maybe did play into it a little bit, and that was Jonathan's whole, the creepy vibe in the woods, taking the pictures and all that kind of stuff. And it was just kind of,
Yes,
it was just kind of skeevy. And I
it's
know we know how
it is.
Jonathan, works out to,
Yeah,
be a, decent person, but that kind of, and then I think the whole side trip to Lonnie was, could have been done with a phone call, but it's fine. It's
but
okay.
the Lonnie trip is
Yeah.
kind of lame.
So
Well,
anyway,
hey,
so
no,
we're,
let's talk. Wait, hang
yeah,
on. This is
yeah,
fun because
okay.
I like it.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
going at it. The Jonathan doing the creepy voyeuristic photos,
yeah,
right? Like, yeah, it is creepy.
yeah,
Teenage boys are creepy. They do irrational things because they're thinking with the wrong head. Like
sure,
this
sure,
this
yeah,
is high school, man.
right, yeah, yeah,
I thought it was pretty engaging and interesting to see high school kids doing things that high school kids do, really stupid things.
right, yeah, and they
And
did, yep,
that I like, you don't see that. I grew up, in the '90s and grew up on all those American Pie movies, right?
right,
These are just the absolute opposite. That was crass for crass sake and
right,
obnoxious, right?
right,
This was, I feel like that this was an interesting look into, the struggles of your hormones running wild in high school.
sure, yep,
And,
yeah.
he paid the price, man. He got outed for being a weirdo. And
Okay,
I think he learned a valuable lesson.
he did. I would give him that. Yes, and a very nice redemption arc too. Yes. So
That's correct.
yeah. Okay. So I have it at number 19. You have it at number 6. Are you? Are
Oh,
you?
yes, I had it at 6. All right, so we'll cut to the chase. I'll just charm this sucker. I'll
Okay.
move it up 3 spots. I won't force its way into the top 10. I will
Okay.
digress.
Okay. So we are going to make that number. Where are we now? 16 now, right? Is that where it's landing?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. So Weirdo on Maple Street, and I will make a note here that Doug did his charm spell on it. And so that is there.
You get to pick number 19 again.
We will cross that off, and I will go to number 19 again. And for this one, I am. Oh, well, wait.
Casey's Coast to Coast. American Top 40. Number 19.
My next in line was chapter 6 of season 4, The Dive, which again had some really great moments in it, but overall, I think it kind of fell flat. So this is Sullivan torturing Agent Wallace. The California boys wind up at Susie's place, who does the computer magic and finds out where the bunker is. Joyce and Murray tie up Yuri and make it to the church.
Bears.
Hopper and the prisoners have their nice banquety meal in the Russian jail. Elle thinks back and remembers the massacre, and then it ends with Patrick being killed and Steve and company finding the Watergate. So that is The Dive. I had it at number 19, which is where I would like to keep it. You have it at where are you?
I think I had it at 15.
Okay.
Yeah, 15 I had it at.
Okay. So
No, what did I have it at? 14.
14. Yep.
Doesn't matter. I'm going to let it slide.
Okay. So we will
This
make
one fluctuates with me.
Yep.
I'm pretty comfortable with it. And honestly, I'm comfortable with this episode anywhere in the teens.
Okay.
Sometimes I think it's great. Sometimes I'm like, why do I like this episode so much? I think I really like when they're going through the woods and they find Eddie. I like their incorporation of like the makeout rock, the skull rock.
Mm-hmm.
That's like got a cool hometown little vibe.
Yep.
And the conversations about Mordor. I elevate this episode. I think we talked about it when we did our top season 4 episodes. I just love Dustin getting burned multiple times at the end.
Yes. Yep.
So that's why I sent it up a couple notches.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a lot of good dialogue. There's a lot of good little moments in there. I mean, I think overall it kind of, falters a little just because it's another one of these episodes that feels like it's just a bridge to get to somewhere else. There isn't a lot of,
Because it is.
yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
it's a step on the journey. There's
Yeah.
not very much, decisive, climactic moments in this episode. But again, I mean, there's plenty of great stuff in it. Absolutely a lot of great lines, a lot of great, set pieces. I actually love the meal in the prison scene. It's kind of with all the candlelight and everything. It's just really, it's just a really neat scene.
Yeah. And all the, oh God, all that slurping and
Yeah.
grease.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say too, one of the things when I was taking a look at where I was gonna, because I knew that we had a little disparity in the dive, and I was like, do I need to say that one? I'm like, no. I was thinking about that dinner scene, and this is like the one scene that I really do not like Hopper in. He seems too nihilistic for Hopper, even.
Yes.
They took him too far.
And kind of flippant about it. I mean, it's just, it's just
Yes,
kind of,
yes.
just very kind of flip. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on.
Moving on.
Number 18.
All right, so number 18. All right. I am going to go with episode 4 of season 3, The Sauna Test, which is a good episode. Again, we're getting into territories where I'm like, am I really picking this episode? No, guys, there's nothing that I can't have it surpass anything that's left.
Right. We're kind of, we're going to be splitting hairs a lot of the way, on the way down. So, as the numbers get smaller, the hits get big, but yes. I mean, there's going to be a lot of, a lot of these could go anywhere. But I do like that, we get to kind of bounce this off each other and, kind of meet in the middle and stuff. So, but yeah, you had it at number 19. I had it at number 16. So I am fine with, so it'll come in at number 18, right? So, yeah.
Heather's parents get face sucked by the mind flayer. Hopper has this scene with Klein where he's going to chop off his finger. I like that scene.
Yeah, that is a good scene. Yep.
Erica hits the vents and arrives in the elevator, and the Scoops troop goes plummeting down. The gang, of course, then traps Billy in the sauna, and Elle throws him through the wall. For the most part, my favorite parts of the episode are definitely Hopper and Klein, and then the actual confrontation in the sauna, which is really intense and real good.
Yeah.
I think I said before, I often don't rewatch this episode because that confrontation is almost too intense. It's one of the battle conflict scenes that I really don't dig watching. I don't know why. I think I feel a little embarrassed for Mike for trying very hard to hit him with that pipe.
Right.
He stood up for his lady. To no avail, though.
Right. Yeah. No, I really look at that as Millie to an extent, but I mean, that was really Dacre's moment. That was his, if he had one, an Emmy clip reel moment, he really, I thought, that's such an iconic scene anyway, but he was just really so good in it.
Very scary.
Yes, it was. But like you said in the recap, there's not a whole lot else going on there. Hopper threatening Klein with the cigar cutter, and the Scoops troop just kind of, I mean, they start plummeting, but there's of course it starts with like you said, Heather's parents and the face sucking, but it was fine. I think the final set piece elevates it a little bit. I think it's fine. I mean, it's pretty much dead in the middle of the pack of the 34 episodes coming in at number 8. So I think we're good at that.
Cool.
All right.
Number 17.
So for number 17, I had actually at number 18, chapter 4 of season 1, The Body. This is when Joyce goes to the morgue and sees Will there. Well, Will there. Elle channels Will through the walkie-talkie. There's the school assembly with Troy. And then Nancy, sees the photo that Jonathan took and sees the monster off to the side. And then, of course, it ends with Hopper cutting open Will's body and finding the it's not packing peanuts, but the fluff
Yes.
inside it. Well, packing peanuts would have been funny.
Build a
So
bear stuffing.
right. So I had that at number 18. So I am proposing that for number 17.
Oh yeah, I had it just a bit higher. I had it at 13. Yeah, I'm very comfortable with it here. I just I've said it on the podcast, that moment where he plunges the knife is one of my favorite moments.
Yes, it is. It
So
is a great
that's-
bit. And I remember I think I mentioned I rewatched it about a month ago, and it's still, even knowing exactly what's going to happen and how it's going to happen, it's still such a great scene. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I accepted.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see, I will get the body and I will paste. So that is number 17. So number 16 we already did is the weirdo on Maple Street. I'll let you, just because it's the way it's worked. I've been doing all these. Why don't you take number 15 and we'll go from there? Because I don't want to, I don't want to keep leading
Oh
off
no,
the thing.
no, don't worry. Your odds. Don't worry,
Okay,
Colin. I
okay.
used the spell.
All
That's
right.
sick.
Okay. I don't want to, I don't want to monopolize. I mean, I'm not monopolizing because we do talk.
Oh, come on now.
Um, okay.
Don't worry. I'm not
Okay.
put out. I use the spell. That's the
Okay.
price I have to pay. Your magic points go down when you use spells.
Right.
That's
Number 15.
So let's see where we are. I had for number 15, episode 9 of season 4, The Piggyback. This is obviously the final episode of the series that we've had so far. So Jopper finally happens. Yuri fixes Katinka so they can get on their way. The Cali crew sets up the pizza dough freezer. And then we go through the whole phases of, Jason, messing everything up, Vecna snapping Max, Eddie playing Metallica, and then he meets his untimely end. Max has the snowball nightmares. It goes on and on. Murray, takes out the Demodogs with the flamethrower. Vecna gets blown up and Molotov cocktailed and thrown out the window. Hawkins gets all torn to bits. Then we have the 2 days later, Robin and Vicky are making sandwiches in the cafeteria. Dustin meets with Uncle Wayne and gives him the guitar pick necklace. The gang gets together, cleans out the cabin, and then obviously it starts, snowing, and everyone watches Hawkins burn. So,
Did you mention the Master of Puppets, Colin?
did I say he played Metallica? I said he
Oh,
played
sorry.
Metallica.
I was
Yes.
just
So
letting
he
you
plays
know. Okay.
Metallica. Yeah. Again, love this episode. I don't have a problem with it at all. I think this was a case of I can think of other episodes that I liked better. And again, there's nothing really that I can think of that would be negative about this one. I mean, certainly has a movie feel to it. I think, yeah, probably here and there, probably a combined total of about a half an hour could have been taken out of it. There's just, it could have been a little bit tighter, a little bit crisper, something along those lines. But again, it's not terrible. It is not a bad episode. You may certainly feel free to fight me or whatever. But I think from here on out, I can legitimately point to, and including this one, really, really good episodes and episodes that I just liked better, that were crafted a little better, that were a little tighter, that the narrative worked a little bit better, that kind of thing. So I have it at 15. Over to you.
Oh my. Yes, you are testing me, Colin. Whoa. I'm gonna have to roll with your pick here.
Uh-oh.
I have to save my protection spell. So I had this sucker at number 10. I mean, what are we at? 15 here?
Yeah, so not far
Right.
off, but yeah.
Yeah, oh man, I just really think this is a top 10 episode, but it's close enough. But it is long. It is astoundingly emotional, though. Holy moly! I mean,
Yes, it is. Yeah.
probably some of the most thrilling moments of the entire show, and without a doubt, some of the saddest moments of the entire show.
Yeah.
It is long though.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, and I was thinking about it too. I actually got a little bit more weepy at Dustin meeting with Wayne
Mm-hmm.
than I did at Eddie dying, which was kind of odd in the moment. And I think it might be because you kind of had a chance to breathe a little bit, and then
That's
you
right.
just realize how exhausted you are from going through all of. I mean, it's just rapid fire, one thing after another. Boom, 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 boom. And that was another thing too. I think it might have. I don't know how to do it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm better than the Duffers, but I think there was a certain point, kind of about 2/3 of the way through, where we're just going so quickly, relatively, between Russia, you know, the Eddie of it all, the hunting Vecna of it all, the upside down of it all. It's just Max getting snapped, the whole, after the whole snowball, there's just a lot coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if there would have been a way to, make them last a little bit, re-edit it a little bit or something. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. But again, I'm really nitpicking. It is a phenomenal episode. It is genuine cinema movie,
Mm-hmm.
So again, we're kind of splitting hairs here, but things have to
Sure.
go in some places and other things go in other places. So
Well, I mean, what you're getting at is that it is bloated, and without a doubt, whether it's good or bad, I think it's good. It's
yeah,
still bloated.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
I mean, excuse me. You know, it's what, 2.5 hours long for Christmas sake?
Yeah, yeah, it's in
I
that,
mean,
certainly in that neighborhood. Yeah,
this is not
yeah,
this is not a case of like we got 50-minute episodes for most of it, and then our finale is 80 minutes. This is we
yeah,
it's pretty gosh darn long. Um, and it is a result of them trying to cram so much into it.
yeah.
I think they succeed and it's good. I watch this and Papa probably the most at random if
Hmm.
we're just bored on a Saturday putting it on.
Yeah,
Um, so I think that's why I wanted it in my top 10. It's like the end of season 4 is my go-to, just put it on at random, as I said.
yeah,
Um, but as far as me actually sitting down and digesting it completely, not even close to I want to sit down and watch it for 2.5 hours. It's
no.
like a background. So you know what? Man, you made me talk myself right into thinking that this is in the right spot. 15, I love it.
Okay,
Great
giddy
job.
up.
Great sales pitch, man.
Now it's your. I turn the floor over to you, my good sir.
All right.
Number 14.
All right, what do I got left here? Holy Moses, smell the roses. Man, I have a man.
Yeah, right.
Colin, you're making this.
I'll be over here when you're done. Just
I know, right? Holy mo. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm going to go with. Oh gosh, what? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. See, all my top four, my next four on my list are you have all of them much higher. Um, and I was looking at this section on my list that
yes.
it was the spot where I could really mess with it. I'm gonna stick with my list.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with no, I am no, you know what? I am not. I am gonna go with season 4, episode 1, the Hellfire Club. I
Oh,
was gonna go with
this
I was gonna
just
go
got interesting.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Um, we'll get to the other one that I'll pick and I'll revisit it later. But this is pretty much I don't know. I can't pick anything else. It's
Right?
great. It's a fun, it's the best season 1 or it's the best episode 1 since the pilot. It's good. It's a fun standalone episode. It's almost like a bottle in a
Yeah.
certain way, just
Yeah.
like the high school experience, and I really like that. It wraps up this D&D game. It wraps up this basketball game thing, and
Yep.
right at the end, we snap Chrissy, and your jaw is left dropped.
Right.
I suppose my ranking of this is probably a little bit lower because of my dislike of Eddie in this first episode.
Sure.
I find him very obnoxious. Once he
Yes,
gets
he's
into
yeah, the prancing on the cafeteria tables and the,
oh,
yeah.
totally right. Once he gets
Though
into the trees, go ahead.
I'll say yes. Once he has the scene with Chrissy in the woods,
That
yes,
then
yeah,
I'm like, okay, this guy's pretty cool.
yeah,
I there's a funny thing about the cafeteria scene because right at first Eddie's being a real jerk to Dustin and Mike,
yeah,
right? Just completely intolerant of him having other friends to worry about. Like
right,
he's the most important thing. Then, as someone who I was a very eclectic person in high school, right?
yep,
And here we go. Shocking news. I, Collin, was popular in high school. Ooh, right? I was not a douchebag to people. I
well,
was nice to people,
how about
right?
that, right?
Yeah, it actually can happen. I loved nerdy things. I played Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger constantly, and
Yep,
Zelda. I played sports. I was into art. I was all over the place. I had tons of friends. And you know what? It was funny because I went through high school thinking that I was a weirdo. And once I got out of high school and started talking to other people, I was like, oh my God, I think I was actually popular in high school.
yep.
So, I take offense to Eddie just thinking that all these normies all around him there's something wrong with them. It's just he was the polar opposite to me of the douchebag popular guy. He was the
Yep,
disgruntled, marginalized kid.
yep.
And I think both of those people suck.
Yeah, no, I had this, where are we? I had it at number 11. You had it at number 17. It's coming in at number 14. The only reason I really had it at 11 is because I did think it was a good, solid opening. It was in my rankings. It was actually ahead of The Vanishing of Will Byers. So it was my top ranked of the chapter ones.
Yeah.
And I think it was primarily because of, and I know again, we're kind of going back on our own methodology. I love that scene in the woods with Chrissy and Eddie.
It's
And
wonderful.
I really loved, the whole Chrissy of it all, and having to kind of figure out along the way what exactly is going on. Why, if is
Hmm.
she possessed? Is there something? Why is she possessed? Oh, it's kind of the eating disorder and the that whole thing. That kind of it was a episode that made me think a little bit, and I really really liked that. And I also really loved. I mean, for what it was, I loved the Chrissy death scene. I thought it was really well done. It shook me to my core when it happened. We hadn't really seen anything. We had not seen anything like that before. Even
Oh
the
yeah.
barb stuff. Just to
Hmm.
see like the eyes bleeding and the limbs snapping and everything like that. I thought it was phenomenal. So I had it at 11. You had it at 17, where it's coming in at 14, which sounds
That's
decent
pretty
enough for
average.
me. So I
I think
think,
it's
yeah,
pretty good.
I think we're going to go for that. So
The other thing that I do recall, since you were going through that too,
yeah,
that I did not like, and I still do not like, but um, it doesn't really matter at this point. But I was really taken aback when first watching it that they just straight up just walked him right in, Vecna. Just like,
yeah,
oh, we just see this guy.
yeah,
It was interesting to see his feet under the stall
hmm,
when Chrissy was in the stall.
yep,
But him just walking right out and doing this whole thing, I feel like they could have learned a little bit from a good old classic Jaws, and had us wait to get a good look
sure,
at him
right,
because Chrissy, maybe just showed his hand, and then regardless of seeing Vecna his whole body or whatever,
hmm,
the snapping in the ceiling might have been even more jarring had that just been standalone instead of seeing this grotesque guy. I feel like they snuck him in too soon and needed to
sure.
needed to wait a little bit.
I also, I don't know if I don't think we mentioned it, but this is all obviously coming in the wake of the cold open of Brenner doing the
Ah, right.
doing the crossword puzzle in suburbia, and then obviously the
Hmm.
whole massacre going on, where we're meant to think that Elle had some role in it. So it was kind of like it was and again, I'm not comparing the two, but just structurally, it's a little bit like The Lost Sister. Like it was just kind of this out of the middle of nowhere. Where are we? When
Mm-hmm.
are we?
Mm.
What is going on? But I think unlike The Lost Sister, this one worked because we were familiar with the character.
Yeah.
And we had seen, the set before. So, it gave us something to think about. And then it really isn't revisited it again for, quite a while, because then we get
Mm-hmm.
back into the whole Hawkins and, California of it all.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like that too. So yeah,
I really like it too.
yeah, I think we're good at number 14 on that. So that brings us to number 13, which goes to you.
No, you're 13. I just picked
Oh,
Hellfire Club.
I thought, am I evens or you're odds. I'm evens, right?
No, I'm evens.
You're evens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 13.
Don't worry, Collin. It's been a crazy day for you.
I'm fine. Okay. So
I just picked the Hellfire Club at 14.
I'm actually I was thinking a little bit about this too. Yeah, I just thought I was evens, but that's okay.
All good.
I'm gonna shake this up too, and I am rethinking my existing list, which obviously nobody has except for, well, you and me. And I'm gonna go for number 13. I am going to say chapter 8 of season 2, The Mind Flayer. So this is the penultimate episode of season 2. We are coming out of the Lost Sister. This is when the Deba dogs climb out of the pit at the lab. Billy and his dad have their little moment. The lab winds up becoming a war zone, but Bob saves the day before getting eaten himself. And then everybody goes back to Joyce's and has the whole exorcism with Will. The Demodogs attack, and then it ends obviously with everybody pointing their guns and candlesticks and pieces of rope and
Yeah.
other trophies at the door. And Elle walks back in and saves everybody after obviously snapping the Demodog and throwing it through the window. So I am going to submit for my number 13, or our number 13, chapter 8 of season 2, The Mind Flayer.
Oh, you're such a wonderful, wonderful, charming guy, Collin. I couldn't be more happy with that pick. I think it's a great pick. I had it at 18.
Okay.
The way that our list has been unfolding, I never even got to bringing it up. I jumped it to do the Hellfire Club because it's a good episode, but
Yeah.
we're at the point now where I don't know what comes,
Right.
what supplants it.
Yeah. And
I'm
what's gonna
yeah.
distinguish between these? But yeah.
I really like the scenes in the shed. I thought that was really cool. They did that with the Morse code.
Mm-hmm.
And, and then in retrospect, as I've gone back and watched it, since the first time I watched it, I really dug what they were doing with like the Alien parody, or, it's not a parody, but, the parallels with the tracking in the hallways and Owens walking Bob through the halls.
Right.
But when I went back and rewatched it after the first time, I thought it was much more intense and long and kind of more exciting. It was just like, get in the closet. Okay, whoo. And then, oh, sorry, you got eaten.
Yeah.
I felt like they left something on the table there that could have been a little bit more exciting. And
Yeah, a little bit.
but either way, it's a good episode.
It is.
And
Very good episode.
I like where it is.
Okay.
The hits from coast to coast. American Top 40. Number 12.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right. Yes. Well, ooh, boy. Yowza. Yeah, it's just like, how do we take these off the table now?
Do you feel lucky, punk? Do you?
Yeah. All right. I'm going to have to potentially force your hand. I am going with season 3, episode 6, E Pluribus Unum. I can't pick anything else, Collin.
You bad man.
I could have picked the other one. That would have been worse for you.
This was the one episode that I rewatched last week. The only episode that I watched. I'm like, am I right about this episode? And I watched it. I'm like, yes, I am right about this episode.
It's good. It's good.
Okay,
All right, well, let's review the episode quick,
Yeah.
and then maybe we'll come to a different conclusion.
Sure.
All right, Dustin and Erica escape from the Russians while Steve and Robin are caught, and Nancy and Jonathan face the mind flayer before Elle tosses out the window in the hospital. All right, that's the cold open.
All that is just the cold open before the credits
That's-
even run. All that happens.
It's
Keep
good.
going.
It's good. The carnival is getting set up. Steve and Robin are tortured and drugged. Then Dustin rescues him, which is great. I mean, of course this is great.
Right.
Alexi wants a cherry Slurpee, antique chariot, and the wheelbarrow.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, they call the Philadelphia Public Library. All right, so then Elle has the Billy Beach flashback, and family discussion. And wait, is that the family discussion one? Just family discussion?
No, it's not.
No. Okay, sorry. All right, we've been building it for you.
Yeah,
The
that's
town
the
is
that's
all
the
Syndigo.
Yep.
That's creepy. Yeah, I absolutely love when Hopper calls Alexei's bluff.
Yes, I do too.
That
It's such
is
a great
one
scene.
of my, and oh my god, it's so good. It's
Yep.
so good. All right, so I mean, Collin, I don't know. I love this episode too, but tell me what should be here.
Good Lord. I have the Massacre at Hawkins Lab lower than this. I have The Vanishing of Will Byers lower than this. I have The Bite lower than this. I have Holly Jolly lower than this.
All right.
So
All right, you sold me. If you
and-
pick Massacre at Hawkins Lab, I'm protecting it, just so you know.
yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. You have it at 16, I have it at 8. So
It's good.
this is
I would say I would put Vanishing Will Byers here. I had Vanishing Will Byers at 12, so
okay.
we're on pick 12.
I had Vanishing Will Byers at 13 and we're at 12. So
Sold.
I can do that. All right.
Sold.
That's a nice little bit of, an e pluribus unum will live to fight another day. So I can
We'll
do
live to
that.
fight another day.
So yeah, obviously everybody knows what's the Vanishing of Will Byers. So obviously we start with the lab, and it just goes from there. It's the opening of the show. People, if you don't know the episode, they play Dungeons and Dragons. Will vanishes. Elle goes to Benny's. Benny gets killed by Executioner Connie Frazier. The boys find out. We all know what happens in the first episode. So
Yes.
okay,
I mean, it jumped up at least 5 spots for me just because White Rabbit is in that scene. I mean, it's so good.
Okay, yeah, well that works because I had it at 13, you had it at 12. It comes in at 12, so that's a nice little compromise, and I get to all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're good.
There we go.
Okay,
It is a great episode that It's
Right.
sneaky good. It is sneaky good.
Yep.
Number 11.
All right, what are you gonna do? I already told you
Okay.
what I'm gonna protect. So if you
Okay,
want to go
yeah.
through the formality, I would go for
Honestly,
it.
I mean, I have Jesus. Yeah, I mean, it's I have to, and I'm thinking, God, no, I can't. Yeah,
Man, you could really force my hand with what you're looking at.
I know. Yeah, I'm gonna do I'm gonna do chapter 7 of season 4, Massacre at Hawkins Lab.
All right, I
Which
have to live with it because I just saw what I had.
Yeah, I had it at number 14. You had it at number 9. So
No, it's at 11. That's fine.
yeah, that's fine. I
That's
think
fine. I like
that's
it.
a
I like
nice little compromise. So yep. Okay.
So we should say it is the highest rated episode on IMDb, right?
It is actually, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got like a 9.6 rating or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, it's super good.
Yeah.
I can't believe it didn't make the top 10. I mean, I had it lower in my top 10. I only had it at 9, but
Yeah. So, okay.
we all know that one.
We are done with our middle, whatever you want to call them. So coming in at number 20, 1-6, The Monster. Number 19 is 4-6, The Dive. Number 18 is 3-4, The Sauna Test. Number 17 is 1-4, The Body. Number 16, thanks to your charm spell, is The Weirdo on Maple Street.
I am happy with that ending up
Yep.
there. I just,
Yep, that's
I know
good.
that I have a absurd affinity for that, and I was like, if I can get this at least close, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Uh, so number 15 is 4-9, the piggyback. Number 14 is 4-1, the Hellfire Club. Number 13 is 2-8, the Mind Flayer. Number 12 is 1-1, the Vanishing of Will Byers. And rounding out our middle 10 is 4-7, the Massacre at Hawkins Lab. So
Ooh.
that is where we are.
Wow, we got
As
the
of right now.
Hellfire Club above the piggyback. That's something.
Right? A little crazy, isn't it?
It's a good episode, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I would listen to it.
Yeah.
Overall,
Okay.
it is a very good episode.
So we have a couple emails to get through, so let's do those
Cool.
and see what other people are thinking about the last episode. First one is coming from Ellie in Greece. Greetings, Colin and Doug. How art thou? I am currently suffering in the midst of a deluge of exams and term tests from which I see no release in the road ahead. Poor Ellie. This following week, I have term tests in history, physics, and literature, so we must all cross our fingers that I do well. So we got you, Ellie. We're reaching across the Atlantic over to Greece and giving y'all our good juju for that. On to the subject at hand. Reminder, the entire list, part of which follows, was composed at 9 p.m. on a very busy Saturday. So please forgive any controversial opinions, as I probably don't remember the episodes very well. Of course, all the episodes are amazing, and this list is meant for entertainment purposes alone, compiled as how likely I am to choose to watch this episode on a random evening. So her ranking of the middle 10 are 20, episode 6 of season 2, The Spy, which we have not even gotten to yet. Number 19 is The Polywog, which we had at number 31. Number 18 is Papa, which we have not gotten to yet. Number 17 is The Weirdo on Maple Street, which came in at number 16 for us. Number 16 is The Hellfire Club, which came in at number 14 for us. Number 15 is The Flayed, which we had at number 21. Number 14 is The Nina Project. We had it at 28. Number 13 is The Dive. We had it at 19. Number 12 is The Bathtub, which we haven't gotten to yet. And number
Oh,
11,
hell no.
No. And number 11 is Dig Dug, which we had at 23. That is, she says, I believe, all for now. And I wish you all a pleasant month of April. Highest regards from Ellie. That's actually that's a solid list. And again, if you're coming to it as how likely am I to choose to rewatch this episode on a random evening, perfectly valid list. I got it. And thank you, Ellie, for writing in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Ellie. All right, our next one is from Quentin. Colin, Whitney, Doug, all greetings from Phantom Spring in New England. Yeah. It was like 70 2 weeks ago here in Buffalo,
right.
and now it's 35 again.
Yeah, we had 7 inches of snow on Saturday. It is all melted today because it was 60 today. So yeah, it's all.
Oh, yes. All right, I appreciate your ranking all 34 Stranger Things episodes and Better You Than Me. It's a giant undertaking that would take my brain way too long to decide between episodes. So I'm leaving this one to the professionals. As for your 21 through 34 rankings, I have only one objection. I would not rank season 2, episode 5, Dig Dug, in the bottom third. It contains some of my favorite scenes from the season, including seeing Murray's lair for the first time. That's true. Murray educating Nancy on how the world works and working out that story just needs to be watered down. Good. It is fun. That gets overshadowed by a much better Murray scene in the next episode. That's
True. Yes.
Bob's reaction to Will's drawings all over the house. Sean Astin's expression is priceless, and it takes me back to Nancy's reaction to the house disaster in season 1, episode 7, The Bathtub. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's sort of looking around. Dustin trapping Dart in the storm cellar. The exchange between Dustin and Ted at the Wheelers' front door, ending with "Son of a bitch." You're really no help at all. You know that? That's Dustin, man. He's asking for it. The beginning of Steve and Dustin connection. That's true. When Owens is discussing the soil samples, and the camera pulls back in a long shot to reveal the swirling particles in all 4 tubes. Yeah, that is a good shot. The scene is one of my honorable mentions for season 2. And Bob and Hopper's casual meeting in the tunnels. Hi, Bob. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Jim. Hey, Bob.
That is pretty good. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we bumped up Dig Dug. I always liked Dig Dug too. Colin, you didn't like it so much, but I definitely The system works.
Again,
'Cause we
potato,
just write our own rules. Yeah,
6 of
yes.
1, half. Yeah, we're good.
There we go. All right, so Quinn's doing a little catching up for 1987. In the fall of 1987, I turned 12 years old and entered 7th grade. I don't recall too many specifics from the time. I think I was playing D&D here and there, and it's likely when I got hooked on the Dragonlance series of books. One thing I certainly remember is all the music.
Yes.
It's difficult to describe exactly how big the songs from Appetite for Destruction, Hysteria, and Bad were in the summer or fall of 1987, while the songs from License to Ill and Slippery When Wet, both released end of 86, were still everywhere. Also, I'm pretty sure the Bangles, Walk Like an Egyptian, and Whitesnake's Here I Go Again were on a continuous loop on radio stations. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I mean, our 1987 episode was pretty darn long, and I feel like we could have spent the whole time talking about music. I would have loved it, but
we could have done a 5-part series on the music of 1987. Absolutely. Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
Given the introduction to WSQK, oh my God, how do you say that?
Yeah, right? I mean, good Lord.
WSQK.
I understand they
plot.
need to choose it in fictional call letters, but good Lord.
Right.
I mean, there's got to be something
is-
that rolls off the tongue a little bit better.
Yes, cheapers, creepers. To the plot in season 5, I expect we'll hear even more 80s songs in the background of the new episodes. There's a portable radio on the cafeteria table with the original 4 in the behind-the-scenes video released in July. So if the station is featured, the hits will likely follow. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, then I'm like rocking out to, I wonder what they'll be listening to.
Right?
Probably Hysteria, I bet. They wouldn't.
Yeah.
They're not courageous enough to go Appetite, I don't think. Or maybe they are. I don't know.
I mean, my vote's still in excess and kick,
Oh, well, yeah, mine too, obviously.
Yeah.
Many will undoubtedly be from 87, but I hope they'll mix in some from the previous few years to catch us up.
Yeah.
All right. So Quinn also sent us his superlatives for the January episode we did. And we'll save those for next time.
Yep.
But lastly, I'm guessing that at least part of Stranger Things 5 will drop on November 6th. To me, it just makes too much sense to not use that as the release date. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little too obvious.
I think,
yeah.
Yeah, maybe, right? And I think there's still an outside chance that they'll release a trailer or teaser before the first shadow opens on Broadway on April 22nd.
Yep.
Preview started last Friday. Either way, if I keep making predictions, I've got to land at least one, right? Thanks again for keeping the dream alive. Fair winds and following seas, Quinn in New Hampshire.
And Quinn, no, just because you make predictions doesn't mean. Speaking from experience, we predicted all we wanted to about season 4, and we got 0 correct. 0 correct. So, yes.
I think he'll be right about the music stuff.
Yes,
too
music will
rich.
be heavily in there.
Yes.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
Okay, next email is from Amy. Hey, Scoopers, it's ABG in Illinois. For my mid-tier chapters, I picked 2 episodes that I love, but also cause me to roll my eyes, cringe, or fast forward. I love E Pluribus Unum because, of course she does. We will get to that one next go round. That was setting up to be a charm or a protection spell in the making, but we avoided it. So
that got fun and dicey.
Yeah. She says, I love it, but it seems like slapped together pieces of fan fiction. Billy and Heather and the zombies are a major plot hole. I know it's been a big topic of discussion on your podcast forever, but yes, it would be national news if this many people had gone missing from Hawkins all at once. Sure, the official party line is that they all died in the mall fire, but really? Little Adam's buddy would accept that he just wandered off, tromped however far away to the mall, and then died a fiery death a few hours later. And David's wife would just allow him to zombie stroll away from the grill while the whole neighborhood was waiting for burgers. Plus, the Russians torturing Steve and Robin was just too cartoonish for me to enjoy, and Billy's childhood of abuse and abandonment was disturbing and went on a little too long. However, this is also a favorite episode, Amy says, because the phone call to reach Owens gave me hope that we'd see him back again in season 3. And I totally agree with this, I can smell that sack of Whoppers from Burger King that Hop brought back to Murray's. And I can also taste the Slurpee. So, yeah. Alexi's last stand about the Slurpee favor is relatable. I, too, am a bit of a picky eater with little wiggle room for alternatively suggested flavors, and I love when Hop calls Alexi's bluff on fleeing in The Toddfather.
Yep.
This surprised and delighted me. Side note, I also wore Joyce's outfit from that episode for Halloween. I had the orange shirt with the white piping, the oversized button-up shirt, and the mom jeans. Also, Amy says I get giddy seeing an 80s carnival, so this chapter was a mixed bag that ends up being mid-tier, and that would actually, every bit of that was my argument too, but I was a little bit, or a lot more on the positive side. I had this well into my top 10, but we will discuss that next month. So, where else are we? Season 4, Amy says, is not for the weak. It tugs at your heartstrings, gives you hope, punches you in the gut, and leaves you with many questions. It's a favorite season, but if I had to pick a mid-tier, it's the Nina Project. Wow, there's much I love about this episode, but it's a friggin' mess. It's a disjointed watch. When Elle arrives at the Nina bunker, I'd assumed we'd hear about the origin of the project, the willing, unwilling mothers who parented the other kids, and where is Callie? She wasn't part of the massacre. None of these questions are answered. Additionally, I love Argyle so very much. However, this plot line, along with Mike and Jonathan traipsing out west, drags on too long. I needed Will to be a source of help here, but he really slowed down the plot. The plane crash with Yuri was obnoxious filler. I didn't think the writing for Joyce was true to her character. I feel she's at her goofiest with Murray, but I don't think that would happen in this dire scenario. She'd be serious and focused on her kids, and Hopper felt also a little bit inauthentic. This chapter was bloated with too many plot lines, from Patrick's death, Will's coming out, Nancy maybe catching feelings for Steve, searching for the Creel Mansion, the Argyle group road trip, Joyce in a plane crash, Hopper explaining his past, and the Rainbow Room flashbacks. I get lost and frustrated with this episode. But Amy says, I love the continuing monthly content. Doug and Collin, I've been enjoying hearing from you and the Scoopers. Be well, my dudes, from Amy G. So thank you very much, Ames, for writing in. Appreciate that.
Love it, Amy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm with you on, both counts, because I had E pluribus unum. Well, I had E pluribus unum a little bit higher, but we had, good Lord, where did we end up with the Nina Project?
Oh,
20,
you
20,
wanted to put that at number 33, Colin.
20,
I saved it a little bit.
28.
28.
Yeah, I had it
Yeah.
even lower. Yeah, I had it at 33.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right.
And yes, the flavor of slippery is very important.
Yes.
They're not all the same.
No, strawberry is nasty. Cherry is much preferred. Cola is good.
Cherry all the way.
Lime is my all-time favorite, but you can never find it anymore. I had it all the time when I was a kid, but lime Slurpees. But yeah, nowadays I actually do cherry Coke if I'm ever near a 7-Eleven, which I'm not. But yeah, I do the cherry and the cola together, or if they have the cherry cola. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm a cherry guy.
Yep.
The only good strawberry flavor of anything is strawberry Starburst.
Yeah, I was just going to say that actually. Yeah, that's about the only artificially cherry or strawberry thing I can think of. Yeah.
And those are elite. Holy moly. All right, good candy tangent.
Yes.
All right. We have another email though from Julia. Hey, Colin and Doug, Julia from England again. An email quite unrelated to this month's podcast, I'm afraid, but no big deal.
Nope.
I went to see the first Shadow at the Phoenix in London today.
Yay.
My friend and I got last minute tickets this morning, quickly jumped on the train, which only takes 1 hour and 20 minutes, thankfully, and had lunch in the sun on the embankment before heading to the theater to watch the best show I've seen in years.
Excellent.
It really was excellent. What a day. Anyways, what prompted me to write, aside from that all, was the fact that when we came out of Charing Cross Station, Charing?
Charing. Yep.
Thank you. Charing Cross Station, I spotted a pillar with a couple of brass plaques on it, and we have some photos.
Oh, yeah. Very cool.
They both commemorate the Great Storm of '87, which you mentioned, and I emailed about back in December, which is super cool. I love this serendipity.
Yeah.
It was just a little coincidence that I thought I'd share with you guys. The play has kept up my interest levels in all things Stranger, which hopefully will get me through to season 5 later this year. Keep scooping, Julia.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that was great. I have tickets to see Stranger Things on April 26th on Broadway.
Oh, cool.
The next time we chat, I will have seen it.
Awesome.
I think. Yeah, we will. Yep. So that'll be very cool. I'm very, very excited for that. So little trip down to New York for a couple days a week or so, and we'll
Yeah.
see Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So.
I'm due
Yeah.
for a trip to NYC. I haven't been in a little while. See
How
my
far? How
friends.
far are you like drive time from New York in Buffalo?
You could drive there in about 6 to 7 hours.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all traffic based, but
I'm about 5.5, 6. So yeah, that's not too bad. So
anytime I go, I just drive to Poughkeepsie,
okay.
which is just directly east from
Yep.
Buffalo. Drive
Hmm.
down the 90, stop in Poughkeepsie, and then I just take the train in from there.
Oh, nice.
It's
Yep.
a lot easier. I'd much rather do that than flying out of JFK.
Oh, sure.
It's just
Yep.
hell.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Right.
I mean, it's not the flight is fine. It's getting in and out of the airport to where I need to see my friends in the city.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even want to think about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I go to Poughkeepsie. I just take the train down the Hudson.
There you
It's
go.
so relaxing. As you get older, you like it taking longer and just being it more peaceful.
Yeah.
Not so much of a rush.
Right. Cool.
Oh, look at old man talk to end the show.
Yeah, that was good. And thank you, everybody, for sending in your emails. We really appreciate it. That is the wrap for this one. We will be back on May 1st with our top 10 episode. You do not want to miss that one. This is going to be the definitive list of the best Stranger Things chapters, at least so far. Send us your emails by Sunday, April 27th, the day after I see the first shadow. So yeah, I think I'm excited for this one. We got some hella good episodes left that we're gonna have to.
Yeah, me too. I'm pumped up. I like how this is going. And
This will be fun. So
yeah,
yes, everybody get your emails to us for your top whatever, however you want to do it. Top overall, top 5, top 10, top 3, however you want to do it. But I want to get a lot of people weighing in on this because this is going to be a fun episode. Get them in by Sunday, the 27th. The episode will air on Thursday, May 1st.
Absolutely. All right. Oh man, yeah, I'm pumped up.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll talk to you in a month. See ya.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All right. Remember, if you want to get in touch with the show, email scoopsahoypod@gmail.com and check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Discord. And please remember to leave a rating or better yet, a review on iTunes. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you tune in next time for the top 10. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye. Stranger Things audio clips and official score are the property of Netflix. Incidental music by Blue Mount Score from Pixabay.